Hi, good afternoon, family and friends. I want to welcome you once again to the Tea with Dr. Tim. It's been an amazing journey with you all since the past weeks, and gradually I am bringing the subject and the discussion on this platform around purpose to a close. And today and tomorrow, I will be focusing on the summary on all I have discussed with you during these sessions. And of course, I'll also be touching a bit on the things I shared during the 30 days nuggets in the month of June, even into this month of July. But I really do hope you found the sessions helpful, you saw value for your time spent, and there were answers to some of the questions you had on the subject around purpose. Of course, I would like to hear from you, just like a comedian when he makes people laugh. Part of the reaction, in fact, one of the main reaction he expects from his audience is their laughter. And likewise, I would like to hear from you to know how much the content we have shared since the past couple of weeks have been helpful. In the bid of summarizing the subjects that we have discussed, I just want to touch on some main bullet points from all what we have talked about. And then the first one is that purpose is the assignment, your soul's assignment that you were born with, that you came to this world to achieve and accomplish. And of course, in the course of that session, I did talk to us that you've got work, you've got job. The job is what you're paid to do. And then your purpose is what you're made to do. For your job, you need to go to school, get degree and certifications. You get hired to do it. And of course, you could be fired doing it. But your work is what you're made to do, and you cannot be fired doing it. And doing your work, which is, of course, your purpose, you're not afraid of Monday morning. And you're not happy and excited that thank God it's Friday, because you do it all day long without losing steam, nor getting exhausted. And then we also spoke at some point about the misconceptions, the misunderstandings and the misplacement that people have as regards to the subject around purpose. And I did share that sometimes people misunderstand passion for purpose. Some people misunderstand, if it doesn't give me money, I won't get involved. That's not where my purpose is. In fact, some people think that when I'm born, I then begin to look for where purpose is. Maybe that's when purpose comes to me. But actually, you are born with purpose. What you need to do is to unravel it. And of course, I also did share with us on some road maps that could guide us, that could guide you and lead you into finding purpose. And then we also talked about a subject around reflection, self-reflection on finding purpose. You see, you don't find purpose in noise. You don't find purpose in chaos. You don't find purpose in a distractive environment. You find purpose in self-reflection, because it's on the inside of you. It's not in your brother, not in your sister. Purpose is inside, and you can dig down into your being, into your soul, your soul's code, when you are having reflection. And then when you've been able to research and unravel that, purpose is then being materialized and follow through, which takes me to the next point, which we talked about, that has to do with the framework that has to do with finding, realizing, and materializing purpose. And which is the first one, being aware. And during the first set of sessions we had in this program, we talked about awareness, how to find purpose. And then we also touched on subjects that that refers and helps you to clarify and demystify purpose, where you are able to know what your purpose is. And of course, some people have even asked, is it possible to have more than one? The answer is yes. However, you need to start with one, start from one, and grow. For example, if you've got a speaking purpose to impact people, to encourage people, to motivate people, to challenge them, make them better versions of themselves. And then you've also got another purpose of helping people, being a philanthropist, building schools, hospitals for free, and helping people in their lives, building communities. You wouldn't want to just start both at the same time. You want to start with one and then you go to the other, right? So in fact, if you start, for example, with the speaking, and at some point your speaking will get so good, so great, that you begin to earn so much. You will get paid so much that you can afford to express that part of you, that part of your purpose, which has to do with helping people, giving back to the society, and of course, dying empty. So it's extremely essential that you understand that clarity of purpose, clarity in purpose is at the bedrock to the next point, which has to do with the action part, the action point, going ahead to live out your purpose. And then we spoke about purpose must move from insight to action. Your purpose has to go from a point where you are now aware, where you are now fully aware about what you're made to do, you're born to do, and the next you move into action, taking some time apart, drawing out what you're meant to do, taking some action point that could lead you straight up to your purpose. Now, summarily, of course, tomorrow we're going to continue around these thoughts and this discussion around what we've touched on previous days and weeks in the past. And of course, I'm actually writing a book around this subject, which certainly in coming days and weeks I'll be sharing. I'll be carrying you along as I conclude on that material, such that you're able to pick not because I really want to sell a book, because I need money to from selling a book, but then so that aside the content and the snippets and the ideas I have shared from this content, you can look at it step by step, line on line, and then can follow the process which I have shared in that material, and then you can use that to build on purpose. Again, finding purpose might not be easy, might be confusing at some point. Living out purpose, taking action on purpose will not be easy, might not be easy, will not be easy for some. But the most important part is staying dogged, because there might be times you'll feel discouraged. Sometimes when you don't feel like going on. Even sometimes it's going to be like you want to find some other shortcuts. There might be lonely hours. There might be times when you're not having that company you used to have, because now you found purpose. Don't worry. Keep on keeping on, because at some point you will then find some other people along the way who have equally found purpose. They will cheer you on. And guess what? Even some other people who seem to be discouraging you, or those who have left you behind because you are following purpose, will at some point come back to you and say, after all, you have been right all the while. And then you'll be glad that you eventually followed purpose. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, sharing further and more insights on the summary of all what we've been discussing about since the past couple of days and weeks. Do live out your purpose. Don't get discouraged. Don't get distracted. Don't get laid back. Follow through on purpose, and every other thing, according to the scriptures, will be added unto you. I'm Dr. Tim Atimoe, and it's my pleasure sharing these insights and this summary with you today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Be well.